Okay, this is pretty much the main reason I came to Hawaii this trip, was to try Baikoken. I believe I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. This is a Michelin Star Ramen restaurant. That is right, ramen that has made the Michelin Star Guide, which is world-renowned, and they're famous for their Shoyu ramen, which is a soy-based ramen, but they use a double broth, which you can see them cooking in the back there, those big vats. And this is known as a double broth. It's their own signature thing. Now, this is what separates them. You see that big glob of butter? The butter and corn is said to be why they won that Michelin star. Well, that was my conclusion that I came to. First, let's try without any butter. Okay, this is just the shoyu base, and it is so soothing. It is so good. You know, when you can see those soup bubbles over the top, but you can still see through the broth a little bit. It's not cloudy. It's clear. It's clean, but it's still. So anyway, now while it's hot, let's get that butter into there because that's supposed to melt throughout the meal. And as you'll notice, it will actually change the texture and the flavor of the broth. Let's get some corn. It's sweet corn. It's really good. I mean, it's just typical corn. I like corn in ramen, so that's not for me. I've had that before. Some people say that's weird. The egg yolk, perfectly cooked. I mean, God, look at that. Sorry, my mouth watered. Let's put some corn in the egg. Let's take a big old bite. It's a little bit brown because also the egg is marinated in soy sauce, so it gets a little bit of that soy flavor. You see the depth of soy, right? Now let's try a bamboo shoot. I didn't like these, but here's my defense. I don't like bamboo shoots ever. These were the thickest ones I've ever seen. I don't know why people like them. It's just like a soggy, firm, weird texture, and they don't have a lot of flavor. So not my thing, but I had to try it. And this is their pork chashu. Now, it's really a fancy way of saying like a nice, juicy piece of pork that they've char grilled and cooked. And then we're getting through the bamboo shoots because it's time to test the noodles. The best part, look at those wavy noodles they make in-house. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Love me some nudes. And they were delicious. They were light, they were bouncy, but they were chewy. And I say too chewy, a little bit. Like, you like a little bit of chew, but I'm still like going. You know, they should dissolve eventually. I felt like they were firmer, but you know what? Maybe that's Michelin star noodles. I don't know. I'm not super fancy like this. So maybe they're more al dente on purpose. Okay, now we're halfway through and you see how the butter is like halfway melted. And I love how it changes the flavor. Now the broth is getting richer throughout the meal. As I'm sipping, as I'm eating, as things are warming up and things are melting, it becomes richer. It becomes thicker. So the texture changes and the flavor changes. And now we're at the bottom of the bowl. Butter is 100% melted. All the flavors from the whole meal are at the very bottom, and it's time to add some hot chili oil and some of those pepper flakes because I didn't add that at the beginning. I wanted to have the purest experience possible, but here we are, the bottom. That broth is pure, just creamy, spicy. There's crunchy from the bean sprouts and the corn. There's fat bubbles. This is going to be your best sip of soup. Here we go. That's the moment I realized I should have had the spice in the whole time. That was so good. Highly recommend.